Hello, my name is Katharine Davies Samway and I'm a correspondent with Oakland Voices.
And I'm Rodas, a reporter with the Oaklandside.
Today we're going to be discussing Measure RR, which is one of 4 Oakland measures on this year's ballot. Ricky, what would Measure RR do if it passes?
Well, Measure RR would eliminate the city's $1,000 limit on fines for code violations, a limit that was established in 1968.
Right. And if it passes, the City Council would be free to increase fine amounts for the first time in over 50 years, right?
That's right. And although Measure RR could lead to higher fines for any city code violation, it's mainly an attempt to address health and safety violations like blighted properties and illegal dumping.
Right. Ricky, you spoke to Councilmember Dan Cal, right, who authored the measure. What did he tell you?
Well, Catherine, he basically told me the reason why people violate these types of city laws in Oakland is because there's no threat of being seriously fined. He said higher fines are needed to deter bad behavior and hold people accountable.
Right. As you know, I tried contacting the city's code enforcement department to find out who the worst offenders are, but they wouldn't respond to me or speak to me.
That might be related to what happened in 2018. Some code enforcement officers were found guilty of crimes, including bribery, and one of the main inspectors was fired. Maybe that's partly why it's been so hard to get answers.
I think you're right, that could be. However, I did get a list of the most frequent citizen complaints to the Code Enforcement Department over the last 12 months, and there were over 5,000. Most of them were for blight and housing code violations. We also know that the city received over 25,000 illegal dumping service requests in the 2016-2017 fiscal year alone.
That's a lot of requests. Where are most of these code violations occurring?
The vast majority of them are occurring in Oakland's flatland neighborhoods, below Interstate 580.
Have you spoken to anyone who opposes Measure RR?
There isn't a lot of public opposition, but I did speak with Marcus Crowley, an Oakland resident and the president of the Alameda Taxpayer Association. He thinks it's just an effort to raise money for the general fund, and he also thinks it lacks accountability. Ricky, have you spoken to any residents who support the measure?
I have. So I spoke with Kim Lucas, who lives in the Golden Gate neighborhood of Oakland. She told me that she and her neighbors tried numerous times to get the city to crack down on a business in the neighborhood that's been operating noisy big rig trucks at night and disturbing residents for years. According to Lucas, the business just keeps paying the fines and getting away with it.
Measure RR is definitely one of the more complicated items on this year's ballot, but hopefully we've made it a little clearer to Oakland voters before you head to the polls.
Hopefully. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Howard D., a correspondent with Oakland Voices. We hope you found this video informative. If you'd like to know more about voting and this year's local races, you can find more about Oakland election coverage at oaklandside.org and at oaklandvoices.us. And remember, Election Day is November 3rd.